Hi everybody, it's Jules here and we are going live for the first time for a confidence question time, and I am just going to fiddle around for a moment. So those of you who aren't here just yet, I'm just going to fiddle around getting a couple of things sorted out on my other screen, so whilst I'm looking around all over the place. But the point is for you to welcome for the first viewers that are just joining. Make sure that you you share, that you put some comments in the box so that I can say hi, because I can't see who's on there until you like me or like the video. Whether you like me or not is a different matter. So the whole point of this conversation is to chat about confidence and actually get a communication between you and I. And hi there, Rob. Have a communication between us so that we can really get to grips and understand what confidence really is, how it impacts people, and how we can really simply start to make a difference. So how the Facebook Lives tend to work is that I will start talking and people are going to be joining at various different times. Now, this evening, I've already had a couple of people that can't make it with me their questions. So I have got a couple of questions lined up, but we're going to be on here for anywhere between 15 minutes and half an hour. So make sure that you do say hi, drop by, say hi, give us a thumbs up, share the video. And then that will give me the opportunity to welcome you, see who's on board, and then I can have a chat with you. And of course, if you've got some specific conversations or rather questions about confidence, then put them in the comments box below, because I can, if I can't get to answer them in this call or this Facebook Live. Hi Lisa, nice to have you on board. Then from my perspective, what I really want to do is make this a regular thing. I'll let you know at the end of the video how you can, or when they're going to be, so that you can get those into your diaries, get them scheduled, and you can join. And I want to just do as much as I possibly can to help people understand what confidence is so that they can make a difference for themselves. So whilst people are still joining, still getting to the grips with this whole Facebook Live thing, it's a bit of a new one. So for those of you, if you've never done one, just so that you know what goes on from my perspective is I can see, so I can see myself, and then underneath I see people as they're joining. So I can see Rob's there and Lisa's there. And the moment you join, I can give you the opportunity, or I can have the opportunity to say hi and welcome you to the party, Confidence Question Time Party. So make sure that you put your questions below, share the video, invite people along, because I'm sure that, like myself, you know a number of people that want to have even more confidence, would like to feel authentically confident, who want to feel that they can be confident in their own skin, which is a big thing for a lot of people. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through kind of a brief overview of why my view around confidence is I think different to what most people have out there. I'm going to give some insights with that, and then of course if you've got any questions, then please chuck them in there and that'll be great. I'll get to them. So we've having more people joining the party. So hi Tim, hi Tiff, and also hi to Sarah, who says sadly can't stay online now, has got a dash, but we'll check back later for the vid. Perfect, and that's a great reminder to let you know that if you do sadly have to go, this video stays on the Confidence Garden page, the Jules Wyman Confidence Garden page, so that you can go back and rewatch it. And that's the whole purpose of these is, oh, by the way, what is great is when you give a thumbs up or heart it or whatever, it skips across the screen, which is really quite cool from my perspective anyway. But if you want to go back and watch these videos, then the questions are going to be there for you to kind of have as a resource. So we can kind of build up that resource. You've got the opportunity then to ask questions at other times that pop up. You don't have to wait for those things. I'm smiling because there's thumbs going up now. That you don't have to wait just for when there's a Facebook Live for you to be able to ask your question. You can ask it at any point, and I'm going to collect them and, as I say, get into answering those questions about it. So as more people come and go, that's the whole point of Facebook's Live. They're going to be popping up in people's streams. They're just going to suddenly go, oh, there's this crazy lady speaking. Hi, Ellie, and join in. So as people are doing that, I will have different points where I would really love to hear people's thoughts on confidence and get people joining in as well. And I asked this of a group of friends where they think I should start, where is a key point for me to start this confidence question time, really. And one of my friends posed the question of, how do I define confidence that makes me different from other people? And I know that she asked me that question because I do have a different view from a lot of people, and a lot of the truth about confidence that I talk about does give a different view. It does come in at a different angle. So I'll start there with saying that the majority of people talk about confidence as being something that is based on external results. So your confidence is built up around what you achieve, the feedback that you get from that, the results that you can see, and the more that you have all of that going on, that's what builds your confidence. And whilst I agree that that is an aspect to it, that is a part to it for sure, I don't believe it's the whole picture. And actually, I think when we can really start to look at the kind of the opposite of that in some senses, that gives us a chance to understand real confidence, authentic confidence, which helps us to live in a place, or live in a way that where we feel relaxed and feel able to deal with whatever life throws at us. And let's face it, life does happen. Things do happen that might knock us off kilter, that may challenge us, that may stretch us, that we may not like. I remember once somebody said, they asked me the question about whether I liked surprises. And I said, yeah, I love surprises. And they said, do you like problems? And I was like, maybe not so much. And they said, well, what if a problem is just a surprise without the bow? And I it is really. And things happen. And to me, having authentic confidence means that we can see those things that are going on, experience life the way that it is, and not feel that we are being put upon, or that it's happening to us because we've got something wrong, or that we're bad, or that we're broken, or whatever it may be. And we can start to interact with confidence in a different way. And as you will gather by the fact that I'm looking down, I have scribbled some notes, mainly because I want to stay on track. Because one, Facebook Lives will only stay live for an hour anyway. But two, because I get so passionate about this topic that it's very easy for me to kind of flit all over the place. So when this question was posed, I did want to make some notes. So if I'm looking down, I'm either looking at the comments that are coming down on the screen, or looking down at some notes, or I might be scribbling some notes myself. Confidence, when you focus on confidence as being an inside job, which is one of my kind of catchphrases, that confidence is an inside job, it gives you, I believe, the opportunity to start realizing that you don't have to wait for those external results. You don't have to wait for the external feedback for you to grow your own confidence and start to feel even more comfortable, even more resilient within your own self. Actually, what this confidence really is about, self-confidence. My personal breakthrough came with it when I looked at the derivation of the word confidence, and what it actually means is comes from the Latin meaning confidere, con meaning with, and fidere meaning trust. So if we've got confidence in something or someone, then we are trusting them in some way, shape or form. Whereas when you have confidence, when you're looking for confidence within yourself, what you're actually looking for is self-trust. self-confidence is self-trust. And actually, what a lot of people then think is that trust is about you having to get it right, be perfect, be in control all the time, never make any mistakes. And actually, that's the complete opposite of real self-trust. Self-trust, I believe, self-confidence and self-trust is about you giving yourself the opportunity to have a go at something. Have a go at something and experience it. And by experiencing it, you can give yourself that opportunity to, take the pressure off. Have no stress. Relax. And as I'm saying this, I'm really aware of the multiple different things that are going on here and how my focus is being pulled away from experiencing my own self-confidence. So in that moment, what I can do is then reconnect, come back in and go, okay, so what's really happening here? What do I really want to focus on? And confidence is something that never goes away. It's always there, and it only gets pulled away from us, like it just did for myself then, when something else gets our attention. And if that other thing gets our attention and we put all of our focus into that, then we don't see or experience the confidence that we already have that is there. When you trust yourself to have a go at something, and one of my favourite quotes, which I believe is plastered on my website and various other things, by a gentleman called Pete McIntyre. And what he said was, confidence isn't about always being right. It's about not fearing to be wrong. And again, it was something that gave me the permission to have a go. I saw a quote come up from a conference last week. I think it was by Lady Dr. Emily, I can't remember the lady's name. Anyway, she's a frequent presenter and commentator on various programs. And what she was saying was that most TV shows ask about 6 women to join them as an expert. And yet they have to ask those 6 women before one of them will say yes. And I think that's a pretty sad statistic, that we've got ourselves to the point that quite often we would rather say no than have a go. Because we're worried about getting it wrong or getting it right, or rather not getting it right. So therefore we just don't have a go with things. And to me, having that trust within yourself gives you that opportunity to have a go. And having that self-trust is obviously going to build then your self-confidence. So what do you think about that? How does that, when you look at confidence in that way as about you trusting yourself, what impact does that have on you? How do you feel? Okay, so thank you, Ellie, for letting me know that I look great, which is always very sweet. How much do you feel confidence is influenced by how you were raised? And can that perspective be changed or altered? That is a great question. There is some research out there that shows that it goes back to the age-old thing about the nature versus nurture kind of conversation that happens in many aspects of life. Now, what they have discovered is that we are born with confidence genes. And those confidence genes, I believe, if my memory serves correct, there's 4 of them, and they can be activated at any time. Now, those confidence genes can be activated to do with a number of different things, and one of those things obviously is then the nurture, the environment that they're in, because you could be born with really strong confidence genes but not have the right environment, and they may not get activated. Equally, you could only have one of those confidence genes and have an environment that be brought up in an environment that nurtures it, and they can be activated. So it is a nature versus nurture conversation. And I think personally, with the work that I do with clients and also my own personal journey, I believe that you can change your perspective. I love the way that you phrase that, Ali, is that it is really down to changing your perspective of yourself, not trying to get other people to change their perspective of you, which is why I don't buy into the whole fake it till you make it side of confidence. But when you change your perspective of yourself and how you feel about yourself, that's when you've got the opportunity to experience a different way of being. And the challenge with that is that a lot of our self-perspectives have they've been entrenched from a very early age. And because they've been entrenched at such a young age, quite often we're unconscious of those perspectives that we've got. So when you can, that's why working with a coach can be really useful, or even if you can have the opportunity to sit with a friend who can listen to you, which is quite challenging in an unbiased way and an objective way. When they can do that, they can give you the opportunity to start to experience and hear yourself in a different way, just by reflecting back. Are you aware that you're saying this over and over, or are you aware that I've heard you say this before? That can help you change your perspective. So my personal belief is, and that comes from my own experience, that yes, you can change how you perceive yourself, and it is only when you change how you perceive yourself that you can then change your experience of the world, which can give you different insights, different experiences, and bring all sorts of exciting opportunities to the fore. So let's have a look at some of the other questions. Ellie, do let me know whether that answered your question. And if it didn't, then ask me some more. So let me have a look back through. Elise, it's all froze here at my end, but I'm hoping it will get better soon. I hope so too, Elise. I know Elise is in Norway, so I do hope that you're getting to... if you don't get to watch it live, which I know you really wanted to, then obviously you can go back and watch the video. So yeah, brilliant. Hi, Ellie. Ellie's doing IT resolving as well, which I think is fantastic. I do love it when people help each other out. It's the whole point of having a community, though, isn't it? This confidence community. You can see all the comments that are coming through and the questions that are coming through as well. So, you know, if somebody has got an IT problem, I love it. Thanks, Ellie. That's awesome. So, Rob, hello. When I'm really confident about something, can that confidence be hyped up by outside forces and then be later seen as arrogance by others? If so, how can I keep my confidence in check? Great question. And I really love the fact that that's coming from a guy, because I know that a lot of guys have challenges where confidence are concerned, and for them, it's a different way, the way that they tend to talk about it. And both with males and females, we can get caught up with how can I be confident with myself without coming across as arrogant? And I'm going to put it in a really big picture, simplistic term, because I think it's a big topic. And I'm conscious I've already been talking for nearly 20 minutes, which is not a tough thing for me to do about this topic. What I would say is keep a check within yourself is what I'm about to say authentic? Is it true? Because I think when we get triggered with insecurities, that's when I believe our arrogant behaviours can come out. That's when we can look to kind of maybe try to cover up how we feel, or pretend or act or fake it, and all of those kinds of things come up. And actually, when you can take a step back and whilst it may not seem like a confident thing to do, being honest with people and being able to say something along the lines of, I'm nervous right now, and actually I'm not really sure how I want to word what I want to word. So let me just go with what comes out and we can work from there. Because you would maybe be speaking from a place of truthfulness, of authenticity, actually that's what comes across as confidence. Confidence isn't about pretending that you can do something when you can't. It isn't about exaggerating that you've done 50 million things when actually you did 10. So what I would say is a kind of surface level check-in is don't exaggerate something, and equally don't shrink it away. Keep it truthful, keep it level, and be honest with yourself. And if the environment, if it's not an appropriate environment to be honest, maybe take a check and just be honest with yourself internally and know that you're exaggerating or shrinking, and speak with as much authenticity as you possibly can. So Rob, let me know if that's answered your question, and if it hasn't, then do put some more down there, and I will keep going. Hi Karen, haven't seen you for a while. Looking fab, thank you, and making so much sense too, as usual. I think of confidence as having trust in me, just if you have a confidant, that's someone you can confide in and trust. So it's great to your own best confidant. Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was saying towards the beginning of the video. It really is about confidence, is about trusting yourself. It is about trusting yourself to be honest, which links back into what I was just saying in answer to Rob's question. It's about being truthful with yourself and how things are going for you. And being able to check in where that's concerned. So yeah, the more trust you can have in yourself, the more you will experience your confidence growing. That's what my experience has been. And I'll give you a real world example of this. When the BBC, I got a phone call from the BBC to go on their BBC Breakfast television. And basically what they were asking me to go and talk about wasn't my main topic. They wanted me to talk about happiness. And actually my main topic is confidence. And so all I did was ask myself, can I trust myself to talk for about 2.5, 3.5 minutes on the topic of happiness? And my answer came back yes. So that's how I could be confident in myself with what I was about to do. So trust is everything. Ellie, awesome reply. Thank you, my lovely. I'm glad to know that it made sense. Sharon, hi Sharon. I think it's difficult to believe in yourself and when you're constantly being knocked, but I know it's about yourself and how you change, but not always easy. So Sharon, I love the fact that you've brought this up, because this is why I say confidence is an inside job. I spent far too many years believing that confidence was an outside job. In other words, that it was down to other people and that it was other people that would be able to make me feel confident. And therefore I looked to them to make me feel even more confident. I looked to them for those confidence boosts. I became a little bit addicted, for want of a better way of putting it, craving, needy, which is never attractive. Needy is creepy. Needing those confidence boosts, wanting to feel confident. Please, please, please make me feel confident. And what I didn't realize was actually I was giving my power over to them by doing that, because I was then assuming that if they can give me confidence, unconsciously I'm then saying, well, they can then take it away as well. And that's not particularly helpful. So a key point is recognizing that it does start with you, and it is about believing in yourself. And maybe that element of what you said there, Sharon, I will look at, and maybe we can expand in the next Q&A session, the confidence question time. If you can come up with another better title, then please do let me know. And also something else that I'd really love to know from you is what time of day works best. Because I'm thinking somewhere between anywhere between 3 and 8. But I'd love to know from you, what time would a live Q&A work best for you? So, Ellie, hogging the floor. I would expect nothing else, Ellie. Usually dancing though. I have another question. From all of your experience in coaching, what's the most common barrier even, or hurdle you see in people increasing their confidence? Is there one single way to overcome the item? The one single way is work with an awesome confidence coach. Of course I'm going to say that. There isn't, I wouldn't say there's one, well, I suppose I would actually. There is one hurdle. It's yourself. That's the one hurdle that I see, and I know it myself too. We all get in and can get in our own way, which is just not helpful. And the more that we do that, the more that we block what's going on. And all joking aside, that's why working with somebody one-on-one is so valuable, because a lot of the time we are unconscious to our behaviours and our habits that we do. I'll put it in a slightly different context. When I trained to do public speaking, I was unaware of some of the repetitive patterns I was doing. There were some physical movements that I was doing, and there were some words that I was using over and over again. And some people might, it might be the or the or the whatever it may be, but we have these little habit patterns that we're not really aware most of the time that we're doing. And when you've got somebody listening to you and being able to see around and beyond what's happening, then that can give you, and then when they reflect that back to you, that gives you a base to really work on and get clarity on how those things are really stopping you. Now, many people have got great self-awareness. I had a conversation with a lady today who said to me, I've got amazing self-awareness, I've been working on myself for years, and yet I'm still stopping myself from doing things. Her words were, I'm constantly playing a small game. So we had this coaching conversation, and at one point during it, you could see this light bulb went on as I'd reflected some things back. And she realised one of the areas that she'd been stalling on, and kind of like the repetitive pattern. And she'd seen one aspect, but not the bigger picture. So the one hurdle really is ourselves. It's our perception of ourselves. That's the big hurdle, and being able to see that when we're unconscious to it most of the time is a real challenge. So Ellie, hog away, let me know if that answers your question as well. We've got about another 5 minutes, let's carry on down. Tim stroke Tiff, is there a simple way to connect back to confidence when you feel overwhelmed or on the back foot? Losing self-belief makes everything harder and becomes a vicious circle. That is something that I hear so often from clients, and also experience myself and have a knowing of that as well. One of the quickest ways, or at least a key starting point with it, is hit pause rather, don't stop, just hit pause and take 3 deep breaths. As deep and as comfortable. In fact, we're a community. Let's do it all together. Are you ready? Deep breath in. And out. And again. And out. You have no idea how weird this feels to me doing a live broadcast, doing deep breaths in. And out. So when we get ourselves anxious, when we get ourselves worked up, stressed out, overwhelmed, on the back foot, feeling like we've had a confidence knock or a confidence crisis, our brains can get too clogged up. It's kind of like we're trying to see where we're going with hands over our eyes, and it's not easy. When we take those deep breaths in, it can at least give us a little bit of space. And by taking those deep breaths in and give us a little bit of space, we've got a clear starting point. And what we can ask is a simple question, which could be something along the lines of, emphasis on can, what can I do right now? What can I do right now? Because quite often we assume that we have to sort everything out and get everything done right here, right now, when in actual fact, it's just not possible. And when we can just stop and ask ourselves, what can I do? It can make things achievable. They can become in little steps, so that you can see that little one thing that you can do. And then take some more deep breaths and just do that one thing. And only when you've done that next one thing, look at what the next one thing would be after that. And slowly from that, it's just giving ourselves that reassurance that we only have to focus on that one thing rather than everything. All in one go. So hopefully that answers that question. And that's something else that I might come back to. And maybe, by the way, you might not know, I do have a YouTube video channel even, which you can go on and subscribe to. These videos will also go on there, and I do lots of other Q&As, and there's various other little interviews on there and videos. If nothing else, it's worth a watch just to see the changing hairstyles and some of the crazy hairstyles I've had, although I'm not going to put any of my ones when I had perms up there. That's not going to happen. Okay, Elise, perfect time. This is perfect time for you. Brilliant. Okay, so that works for you. Thank you for answering that. Jane, hello, and sorry for being late. I was looking for you in the wrong place. Story of my life, Jane, but it's nice to have you on board, and hi. So, Rob again, hi. When I used to be accused of arrogance, I found myself totally withdrawing and becoming insular, and then totally lacking in confidence. As a man, I feel that to be successful, I have to believe whoops, I have to believe I'm confident even when I'm not this feeling unauthentic. I think I understand what you mean. I think for men, it is a challenge, because I think especially in the male environment, we have to learn, not we, because I'm not a man, and I'm going to have to take some guidance on this because I'm not a man. My assumption is that a lot of that pack-driven male stuff that goes on does and can cause men to withdraw, and I can understand that. So I think where any man is looking to be even more authentic, I think initially it may be about being really mindful of those people that you are honest with, that you are yourself with, you are authentic with, and from that space you will then build up that trust. And I think it's the same with women as well, especially unfortunately that so many women are caught up with being in their masculine energy a lot of the time, is that we can end up, we can be so bitchy to each other, which really upsets me, but we can be really bitchy and chatty and catty rather, and that's not particularly helpful or kind. So we have a different version of it. So I would say the same to women as well, is just be a bit patient whilst you're learning these kinds of things, and recognize that the arrogant behavior is not, arrogance is a behavior, it's not who you are, and maybe look at how you can feel differently within yourself and change those behaviors in a way that could be more resourceful for yourself. So I'm just going to check in with you guys, because I'm now aware I've been going for half an hour. I'm more than happy to talk for another half an hour, and we've still got people coming and logging on and asking questions. So it's up to you. If you want me to keep going, then I'll keep going. If you are feeling complete, then let me know. And this is as my wonderful friend would say, this is an experiment. I'm not wedded to these being a certain way. All I want to do, let me bring you in on my main secret as to why I want to do this. And I've got a little bit emotional just thinking about this, because this is the first time I've really shared it big styly publicly. So you're the first ones to really know, but it's very much in its infancy. But I actually really want to create a confidence revolution. And what I mean by that is I want to make my job redundant. I don't want there to be any need for a confidence coach in this world. And a confidence revolution for me would be where people do feel authentic, where they do feel that they can be honest and open with others, and even if that means saying that they're having a moment of feeling insecure, that they can still feel supported by those around them. And to be able to get the ball rolling with this confidence revolution, and reach as many people as I want to, I'm choosing this as a forum because it's a great way of connecting with people. It's a great way of being able to outreach and say, look, I'm here, I'm a resource, use me, help me get this message out there, because I am sure that you know at least one other person in your life that experiences challenges where confidence is concerned. And that could be a child, it could be a family member, it could be a work colleague, it could be your intimate partner, a significant other, spouse, whatever word you use. It could be your best friend, or it doesn't matter who it is. But we all know somebody who we would long for them to have confidence within themselves. And I want to do whatever I can to get this message out there to help people. I've been studying this now for more than a decade. It's made a big difference in my life. I've gone from not only just doubting myself, but I was in an extremely bad place. I attempted to take my own life, and I'm grateful that I failed, so that I've been on this journey in order to be able to help other people. So that's one of the reasons why I want to have these conversations, so that I can make information freely accessible to people to be able to support them. So I need your help in order to get a confidence revolution really rolling. So I want this to be a community. I want this to be a conversation. So if you want me to carry on talking, then I will keep asking questions. Once the questions dry up, then I will let you know when the day is for the next one. I'm going to aim to do at least at least one a week. They're not all going to be Q&As. I want to let you in on some of the secrets of what's been going on in confidence towers. It's not really called that at all. Anyway, back to your questions. So Ellie again, thanks Jules. I think it's so valuable to have an outside view, a view outside yourself, especially from someone who can really see, understand and support the type of change and improvement you want to achieve. Thank you for letting me know that, Ellie. That's brilliant. Great. Thank you, Tim. You're welcome. Rob, that's perfect. Thank you. Karen, thanks, Jules. Well done, lovely lady. Keep up your great work. We'll catch up soon. I really hope we do, Karen. It has been far too many years. Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas. Great to see you and connect with you. This is a great Q&A so far. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Ellie, keep going, Jules. Don't let the bells and the noise outside distract you. Well, I was in mid-flow and then I thought, do I let you know what's going on outside? For those of you who don't know, I did mean to say this right at the beginning. I'm in my office in York and outside, I'm going to move the camera, so I apologise if it gets a bit sicky because of moving it. But I don't know if you can see from here, but that's the view from my office. I'm hoping that you can see that. It's the Shambles in York, and if you did just hear the bells, then what you were hearing was a ghost walk about to start, and the guy walks up and rings his bell to get everybody in. So yeah, I kept focused early. I didn't let it distract me. My confidence stayed resilient and strong. So, lovely people, do you have any more questions that you would like answered right here, right now? Do you feel that you've got what you need at this moment in time? Let me know. I know that on my other big screen over there, it's frozen. I'm just going to have a quick swig of my tea. Turmeric tea, by the way. I didn't know you could get turmeric tea. It's very nice. Thank you, Ellie. Yes, I try to be a true professional. That's my aim. Be a true professional in every moment that I can. So there aren't any immediate questions coming in. So as I mentioned, you're welcome, Tim and Tiff. Thank you very much for joining. As I mentioned, the whole point of this is to do whatever I can to reach out and support you with where you're at. Please make sure that you like this video, share this video, give some love to this video. It will stay on the Confidence Garden page as a resource, so you can go back and look at it over again. You can also post your questions below, and what I'll do before the next one, I will collate any questions and also keep an eye out on the page, because I will let you know in the lead up to the next ones as a reminder that you can ask other questions as well, and we'll just collect them and I'll start asking them, answering them as best I can. And as I say, I will schedule the time schedule the time, and if we get questions that fill the whole hour, then we'll take the whole hour. If the questions last 15 minutes, then they last 15 minutes. But my aim is to be of service to this community, and I can't do that without your help and your input. So I'm very grateful for those of you who have taken time to join and share your thoughts, views and questions. So a couple of people having to log off, and Elise says she's looking forward to checking out my website and other videos you've made. Thank you, Elise. Yeah, on my website, which is juleswyman.com, you can sign up on there as well for the 7 keys of confidence for free, and that gives you, that's a full 75-minute, I think, might be longer than that, webinar. And on that webinar, and it's a video as well, you get the workbook and you can have a look through that, and there's all sorts of other resources. I've got a blog, I've got a newsletter, there's all sorts of ways, and I'm just doing my best to reach out to people and let them know that I'm here, what I do and how I can be of service and support. So let me just double check my notes, see if there's anything else I wanted to say before I log off. So I think, do you know what? I think I've got it covered. I'm quite impressed. Didn't have to look at my notes too much at all. So once again, I just want to remind you that by liking this video, sharing this video, you help to reach other people and support them so that they get to engage with and make a difference to their own confidence. I know that one lady I spoke to a couple of weeks ago said to me, she asked for the definition of confidence and what it meant to me. And I said, as I did at the beginning, that confidence is an inside job, and it really is about how you can start building your confidence up for you. And she looked at me and she started crying and she said, I've been trying all these other techniques about faking it and acting and pretending and collecting all my achievements every day. And she said, they've been getting me so far, but feeling that I just need to work on trusting myself feels far more honest and doable. And from that place, I know that we're working together, and the small and yet sustainable steps that she's put into place are starting to make a big difference for her. So thank you again for joining, and I look forward to, oh, I haven't told you the date. I've got it written down somewhere. Oh, there, it's there. It's 6th of June, so 2 weeks today, the 6th of June, we'll have another Q&A. But keep your eyes peeled, because I might pop up again next week and do one as a behind the scenes with something I've got cunningly planned, just to give you an insight as to what goes on here in the office, so you can see what happens. But thank you very much for joining this evening. I wish you great success in whatever you choose to do and send you much love. Thank you. Bye.